Good day, everyone. My name is Rhea Ellis, and I will be your presenter for today. Financial literacy levels of tourism enterprises, owners, and its relationship with companies' operating performance in White Beach, Puerto Galera, Oriental, Mindoro. The Philippine economy is greatly hooked into tourism industry businesses activity, including small tourism enterprises and micro tourism enterprises. As a matter of fact, in 2018, this tourism business accounted for 35% of the entire revenue of our country and 53% of in the entire employment, Banco de Oro or BDO Unibac 2019. The importance of financial literacy isn't only expressed within the failure of tourism businesses and its consequences. The researcher believed that the financial literacy plays a crucial role among those business owners because it provides the financial tools needed to form informed decisions. Through the accurate in understanding the monetary information, which largely contributes to the longer term success of the corporate. And within the case of the big direct correlation, highlight the significance of providing to tourism corporate owner adequate financial education on the expectation of improving their performance as a owner. Provide statistical evidence of the connection between financial literacy level of tourism business owners and therefore the operating performance of their firms. Highlight the significance of providing to tourism corporate owners adequate financial education on the expectation of improving their performance as an owner. We have general objective which is provide big contribution in economy, especially in tourism industry. The specific objective is to assess the literacy levels among the tourism business owners in White Beach, Puerto Galera, Oriental Mindoro, and to analyze the relationship of financial literacy levels with the firm performance in this time of pandemic, COVID-19 pandemic. The studies seek to answer the question about respondents' characterization, financial knowledge issues, and financial attitudes and behaviors issue. The study sought to answer the following questions, which are the profile of tourism enterprises owners in White Beach, Puerto Galera, and Mindoro according to their age, gender, status, educational attainment, and monthly income. Then how respondents deal with their saving and spending habit. Next, how did tourism business owner perceive financial literacy? Fourth, what are the problems encountered by tourism business owners and its operation in this time of pandemic? And last is based on analysis, what is the research proposed by the researcher? Significance of the study, we have 4 beneficiaries, which are tourism business owners, entrepreneurs, academe, and future researchers. Tourism business owners, this study will help business owners to manage their money wisely. It will have the big impact on them on how their knowledge about handling financial issues and their attitudes for that matter. Entrepreneurs, to be able to know about the way on how properly allocate the budget that have to have clearer insight on how spending behavior affects the budgeting. Academe, this study will give them insight into financial literacy levels and their correlation with companies' operating performance to be proposed by tourism business owners. Also, they can learn to budget their allowances through this study. Last is future researchers. This research can be used as a reference to future researchers who will also embark on topics related to financial literacy. Review of related literature and studies. Let's start with financial literacy. Financial literacy is a combination of awareness, knowledge, skill, attitude, and behavior necessary to make sound financial decisions and ultimately attain individual financial well-being by Atkinson and Messi 2019. Also, past study revealed that the certain countries, there was a firm to consider the studies related to financial knowledge as a decent approach to financial literacy by Atkinson and Messi 2019, despite at the time of literature could not present an agreement related to worldwide definition of financial literacy. The definition found were intended to around the same basis and also around the same goal and individual financial security. According to Aureliano 2016, financial literacy for small business owners must anticipate the ability to read and recognize fundamental financial statements as well as the ability with figures in order to make informed decisions and to make effective decisions regarding the use and administration of money. The rare literature about small business owners' financial literacy provides a different definition of financial literacy, being the main difference related with the understanding of the information provided by the financial statements, instead of financial knowledge being only emphasized on the comprehension of borrowing and saving matters, interested compounding, and concept of inflation and risk change. A small business owner must be able to assess the information needed to make conclusions that have financial consequences on the business. Now, in research methodology, we have research design. This research uses descriptive research design, which will be help the researcher to describe the explained data, which will help the researcher to describe and explain the data that she has. Given this in circumstances, the descriptive research design is the most appropriate. It is applicable since the study is aimed at providing a clearer picture of tourism business and financial literacy. This study will be carried out in White Beach, Puerto Galera, Oriental Mindoro. There are 30 tourism business owners who become the respondents of this study. Those owners belong on 4 business category in White Beach, Puerto Galera, which are beach resorts, hotels, spa and lodges and cottages. So I have here, I will tell you all the under of these 4 categories. In beach resort, I have 4. Tamaraw Beach Resort, Infinity Resort, Delgado Resort, and Villa Huday Resort. Next is hotel, which is Marian Ross Hotel, Bahay Isla Inn and Hotel, Crystal Palace, Dreamwave Hotel, Free Dive Inn, Apple 9 Hotel, AV Suites, and Rems Hotel. Next is Spa, Amami Garden Spa. Last is cottage, lodge and cottages. We have Casa Marco Suites, White Beach Lodge, Mansion del Azul, Casa Gem Residence, Manalas Lodge, Queen of Isle Cottages, Veronica's Inn, Gilbert's Place, Poco Aroma Restaurant and Cottages, Rexy Place, Pedro Manalas Inn, Avira Camp, Seahorse Villa, Villa Panama Inn, Sandra Taylor Lodge, Minsuko, and NG Homestay. Data analysis, the researcher used Google Form to conduct survey which helped her research to have a relevant data that will help to support her study. The survey question composed by 4 major areas, which are respondents, characterization, financial knowledge, financial behavior, and last is financial attitude. The first one is financial characterization, which includes questions which answers are the bottom of many of the studies mentioned and proposed of study. Also includes the area point of fiscal number of the corporate, which enables to assess the economic and financial information to calculate the operating performance of every company. The financial knowledge section includes not only questions on understanding of interest compounding inflation and risk diversification, consistently contributes during this matter, although purposely adapted to the business environment. The question of monetary business and financial attributes are presented at the equivalent group of questions. Due to the connection between them, the represent and adaptation of the contribute from the private finance issue transport to the business environment and business daily aspects. Findings and discussions. So as you can see here, we have the 4 categories. Beach resort, we have 4 respondents, which is 13%, hotel 8 respondents, 27%, spa is 1%, 1 and 3%, lodges and cottages, we have 17 respondents and 57%. And before continuing the explain of findings and analysis, it will be informed that the study was descriptive research where I just said a while ago. The questionnaires were administered on the 70th of November through Google Form. It was possible to gather the answer of 30 tourism business owners, being enough to achieve the planned sample. Although responses were not anonymous, to validate the name of the owner with the information available about shareholder structure assurance were given regarding confidentially. So yeah, next. Financial knowledge index. We have, as you can see, we have company 34% and personal issue 66%. In the financial knowledge section, the questions are divided into two groups. 7 questions are related to standard financial literacy issues for personal finances. The last 7 questions are about knowledge of financial statements, given that, according to the author Pearl and Elan 2020. Brown and financial literacy among tourism business owners is defined by their level of use, understanding of financial statements. According to chart 2, this chart that I'm showing right now, on average, tourism business owner presented a reasonable knowledge about interest, compounding inflation, and risk diversification, but rather low understanding of financial statement matters, which is problem that only can be solved with education. Next. Financial behavior and attitudes. The financial behavior has the lowest punctuation average with 18.5%, contrasting with the highest average on financial attitudes. Excuse me, with 32.6%. Although it is important to note that the question about financial attitudes and financial behavior were presented at the same group question due to its connection between each other. So on average, the tourism business owners have the right attitude towards the determined subject, but in practice, their action and behavior do not reflect their intentions. Conclusion, the results evidence that tourism business owners tend to overestimate their capacities. Since only 20% admitted to having a rather low level of financial literacy, when the results exhibited to be 4 times higher in the number of tourism business owners in this situation. These results strengthen the need of deeper analysis of the relationship between financial literacy levels of small business owners and their firm performance. For the recommendation, with an adequate program of financial education, the expected an improvement of financial literacy levels and reduction of the risk tourism business owner experiencing financial difficulties due to controllable factors like excessive debt, and minimize the number of tourism business owners that are mere employees for their companies to become business leaders. The major contributes of the present research are the improvement on evaluation methodology and assessing the financial literacy levels among tourism business owners. So that will be all, and I hope you learned something, and thank you so much. God bless.